Good afternoon. My name is Chris Hyde, and I'm here to talk to you about service dogs. Now, autism, or autism spectrum disorder as it's known, is a developmental disability that affects how a person communicates with and relates to others. As the study of ASD has continued over the years, it is becoming more socially understood and accepted. It has the treatments for this disability. There are no cures for autism, though, but there are a range of medications and therapies that allows for a patients to better manage their challenges. One of those therapies is the use of a service dog provided by organizations like Four Paws for Ability. Unfortunately, due to expense, the service dog application process, and the waiting list for these furry helpers, most of most of those that would benefit from this therapy go without. And I believe this needs to change. So challenges for children with challenges due to autism speaks near and dear to my heart. My oldest child, is autistic and lives with these challenges every day. And some of these that you see here, truly hit home to me. The social skills and the speech, the sleep issues, and the depression, speak to me and my son Patrick. So socially, he has a hard time trying to understand how to manage and interact, how to articulate what he's thinking and what he's feeling in his speech with others. For sleep, he has to take special medications because his body and his brain are just keep going. And all of this has led to his depression. And it's very, very scary and sad to see in a child. There are many therapies, as you see here, and there are many medications, and they're very specific to the child. So a doctor will prescribe the therapy or the medication to a child specific to the symptoms. We're treating the symptoms because there is no cure for autism. So what we're doing is we're giving the child something that they can try to work on themselves, and to be independent as possible. The scary thing about autism is on the rise. Back in 2004, out of every 166 children were diagnosed autistic. Here in 2018, 1 in 59. So that means take one child out of every 2 classrooms in America, and one of them is autistic. So as you can see, there are many people living with ASD in America. But you know what? Service dogs can help. So some of the amazing benefits of autistic service dogs are their engagement, their confidence, and it leads to better verbal skills. So how does this all work? So with a service dog, you have to give commands, use your verbal skills. It creates companionship, confidence. They're engaged to the dog and the dog's needs just as the dog is engaged to theirs. Something that is true to me is the sensory therapy that they provide. So my son has a sensory disorder. And when he gets anxious, sensory and compression therapy works. As you can see in the pictures on this slide, these dogs are trained to do that and provide that type of therapy. So now that you've learned about some of the amazing benefits that these dogs provide, let's take a look at the great organization called Four Paws for Ability. Now, on the organization's website, their mission statement is a beautiful one. It says it enriches the lives of children with disabilities by training and placement of quality task-trained service dogs to provide increased independence for children and the assistance for their families. So something that's unique about this, not only are they the largest in the world, but they breed all of their dogs specific to be service dogs right there on site in Xenia, Ohio. So they are purpose trained. So what happens is the family and the child's disabilities are married, and the training for the dog is tailored exactly to the needs of the child as well as the needs of the family. They place over 100 dogs a year with a 98% success rate. Isn't that amazing? There are many benefits scientifically proven by introducing a service dog as an aid to a child. So why do less than 1% of people who have disabilities in America have a service dog? You heard it right, 1%. Erica Block from healthcare.com states that there are 56.7 million people in America with disabilities. That means less than 500,000 service dogs exist, with the majority of them aiding the hearing impaired and the blind. So why are these numbers so low? Well, there are three causes. Number one, expense, the application process, and the waiting lists. So For Paws for Ability's website states that the training for the service dog alone can cost between $40,000 and $60,000. Of that cost, $17,000 goes to the family that they have to pay out of pocket because insurance pays zero. Next is the applications process. It's a 5-stage process with interviews and contracts, the money up front. There's no standardized process between organizations either, and this one, has the most streamlined, but even then leads to a waiting list. So once you're accepted, into the organization and you signed your contract, there is then a 1 to 2 year waiting list. That's due to the washout rate, the length of training specific to your child, and then that wait list is a deterrent in itself. So there are many challenges facing these children with autism. The struggles of acquiring a therapy dog should not be one of them. So what can we do? We have to lobby. We have to talk to our senator and our assemblymen and state we need change. We need insurance companies to recognize this disability and this therapy as something that insurance companies need to cover. But more immediately, we need to donate. We need to be able to help subsidize the cost of these dogs. We need to be able to help organizations like For Paws for Ability to get these dogs into the general population, helping these children along. So in conclusion, it is so unfortunate that we are seeing a rise in autism without paralleled rise in support for the therapies of these children. As members of this great nation, we have a duty to speak up when we see an injustice and demand change. These beautiful children and all others diagnosed with these challenges need our help. By allowing voices to be heard, requiring change with funding and supporting service dog programs and organizations like For Paws for Ability, we can positively and directly impact millions of Americans that are currently being overlooked. Thank you very much for listening.